to week 10 lessons. This week I thought we'd have a look at drawing pyramids in all different shapes and sizes. A quick look at last week, we learnt some tips. We practiced 3 tips on how to draw better cubes. Let's get started on day 1. If you're working on paper or a workbook, you'll need to sketch yourself a quick isometric square, and it's easy to do. From a starting point, draw 2 equal length lines on your bird's foot angle, but you won't need the middle of the bird's foot, and then at the back, crisscross, and that is an isometric square. Notice the aiming mark, that's my apex, and I'll be joining the apex to 4 corners. Let's go ahead and do that. The one at the back is already marked in. It's hidden behind this line, so we don't need to draw that in. Let's add some color to that. I'm using a dark color on this side that's away from the sun. So here's my sun shining in the sky, and this side will be in shadow. And pressing lighter on my pencil, I'm putting a lighter shade on that side that's towards the sun. Now let's draw in horizon. Let's sketch a little motorbike in here. She's going to zip up all the way over the pyramid, fly through the air and land on the ramp, and way to go, Stunt Sally, amazing trick. We're drawing more pyramids. Start off with the 3-sided base. From the apex, it looks like a square pyramid at the moment, but let's show some hidden detail. With this dashed line, you can see that the base of the pyramid is actually a triangle. How are we going to make this 4-sided square into a 6-sided hexagon? Watch what I do. On this side, place a mark halfway along and then do the same thing all the way around. Can you guys see the hexagon base in there? Yeah? Watch as I draw an 8-sided or octagon into this square base. So have a look at this line. We need to divide that into 3 even sections. So I'm placing 2 marks. Let's do the same thing along this edge. Divide it into 3. And same thing at this edge. And finally, this edge. Now we need to join those marks up. Now that's my 8-sided base, and I'm going to connect to the apex. Let's begin with the darkest face. That's the one away from the sun in shadow. And then press a little bit lighter, press a little bit lighter again. And that's my octagonal pyramid. Excellent! As an extension, why not have a go at drawing some of the common images from Egyptian times? That's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow for more 5 for Design. See you guys! Here's the sheet we're working on today. Last lesson, we drew lots of different pyramids with different shaped bases. Let's get started. For those working on blank paper or workbooks, then to get started, simply draw yourself a center line and then some bird's foot lines. Mark off equal length, just like we do when we're drawing a cube. Let's draw the book shape, but then we're going to stop there. I'm not going to draw in these 2 lines, edges at the back just yet, and I'll show you why shortly. Okay, so we're going to be drawing on this sheet today. From the bird's foot here, let's sketch a line there and go ahead and draw in that book shape that we know so well. Good. Next step, we're going to go way up high and give yourself an aiming mark. And there's mine. Cool, so we're going to connect it now to this corner, and this corner. Can you do that for me? Have a look at this one. What I'm doing is imagining that that is one big square pyramid. And we'll mark this little detail in later. So we've got the square pyramid there. Now let's find the level. This level here looks to be about halfway or a bit higher. So let's mark that onto the drawing. I'm just going to put a little mark. Now on my bird's foot angles, let's go that way and that way. Good. Let's now go down to this level. And it looks like to be halfway in between this line and this line. So let's go ahead and do that. Round about there. And we'll draw 2 more lines on our bird's foot angle. Great. Now notice from right here, it tends to drop straight down. Next, find this point here on your drawing for me. Here it is. We're going to drop a line down, down, down. And if you can, stop just a little bit short of this line. Leave a small gap. Let's do the same thing from this point. Let's go down and stop. End of that line, I'm going to bring a line forwards there. And the same on the other side. Let's bring that forward. Good. Look at this little line here. It's kind of a little bit slopey. So let's mark that in. Let's see, we'd find this line. And let's make it kind of curvy. And let's do the same thing over this side. Let's go curvy there. And there's a little line missing right there. And another one there. It's the main thing that the clock's supposed to do. Right, it needs to tell the time. So let's do that. In this face here, we're going to draw an ellipse. Now remember, the angle of the ellipse or clock face has a long axis. And we find that, remember, if we sketch a line from corner to corner, then we'll go like that, just a really light line. And then I'm going to draw my ellipse on there. There it is. And looking at the front view here, it seems like there's another ellipse right inside it. So let's do that. Okay, how about this side? Well, it's exactly the same rule. Down here, I'm going to drop a line down. Notice how I stepped in a little bit there because I can see right there how it comes in. And then over this side, let's drop down. I've got the main drawing finished, I think, so I'm swapping to a darker pen now. Let's darken it in. And in these sections down below, I can see some long flutes, up and down details. So notice on my drawing, I've given you a very light guideline on those isometric angles. Let's draw lots of lines straight up and down, and then join the tops, join the bottoms, boom. We call this the cutting line. Try to get any really wobbly lines straightened up. Excellent. Now it needs some colour. And today we've drawn London's Big Ben. Fantastic. Have fun with that. And I'll see you guys for some more drawing tomorrow. Bye for now. Hi, Glennie D here with you. So cool to be drawing along with all of you. Let's have a look at today's lesson. It is designing, engineering a hopper. A hopper is something that allows me to place materials into here, and it guides them down like a funnel shape. It's called a taper when two lines get closer together. So it can hold materials and then it can dispense them through the outlet. Let's look more closely at two hopper designs. This one is a fairly plain hopper with a taper at the bottom, and the one over here has lots of different inlets. If you're working on blank paper, that's great. Just sketch yourself a bird's foot and let's get going. On this sheet, I already have a bird's foot for a starting point for you. So let's draw a cube. I think that should be big enough. Don't go too high or we'll run out of room there. Now let's go up, book shape to box. Now this cube looks a little bit too high compared to this one, but I think I'll go with that today. Okay, next step is the taper down the bottom. So let's extend this line on my drawing. Let's extend it down about the same distance as the cube, and then I'm going to connect from here, here, and here. I'm drawing an upside down pyramid. So that's down to the apex, that one, and that one. Some of these lines we won't need, but remember, this grey means really light construction lines. Let's draw half an ellipse at the bottom of the pyramid. There's my half ellipse. And looking at the picture, it has a flange, which means it comes out a little bit wider. Here's the holes that I could bolt the flange onto, for instance, another pipe or something like that. I can see at the top it has a little flat area, and that could be important, so let's draw that in. Add yourself a little point, maybe right there at the back, and from that point let's copy or offset those lines and we'll come back this way. Good. Let's add just a few holes in case they need to bolt something over to the top of that as well. To make it look hollow, let's draw a line downwards from that corner. Down, down, and stop before you get to the bottom. Looking at the picture, I can see that these corners are all rounded. So before I darken in my drawing, let's go to this corner here and add a little curve. And let's round those off. Let's round off these lines as well. No sharp corners to get caught on. I like it. Let's imagine there's a wall over beside here and we need a bracket. So I'm going to draw a line down there, and then on my isometric angle, I'm going to draw two lines out there. Then on my vertical angle, let's finish that. And now the little piece that goes onto the wall, I'm going to use my other isometric angle and go across this way and there. Then I'm going to use my vertical line again to finish that off. Now let's add some thickness. So behind this line, let's trace another copy of those, and let's copy that one over to there. Let's put some holes in there, and you can see that if I had a bolt here, the bolt would go through there, through this way, and bolt it or screw it onto the wall. Excellent. Now that I'm completely finished my drawing, let's darken it in. A good place to start is the things that are closer towards you, because everything else will be overlapping behind it. Let's add some colour. I'm finishing off by adding my cutting line right around the outside, including those little bits that are overlapping, and I think I have completed the drawing. Hope you enjoyed that. I will see you tomorrow for some more 5 for Design. Thanks. Bye for now. Hi, welcome to day 4. It is so good to be back drawing with you guys. Glennie D here. Let's have a quick look at last lesson, and we did some engineering. We engineered a hopper. Today's exercise is to draw a robot mouse. Sounds fun. Let's have a look at Alex the axis first. Alex the axis shows us that if I'm drawing in isometric, let's say a tabletop. Here's my quick table with legs. That both the X and the Y, that means this direction and the X direction, both of those are horizontal. What? Unlike the Z direction, which is heading upwards. Our task is to add a horizontal pyramid to the front of a cube. So let's go ahead and draw the cube first. Sketch your bird's foot. And I think I might make that a little bit longer. Make sure all your lines are roughly the same length. Then do your vertical lines. And let's finish off with the book shape and then criss-cross. Good. Now a horizontal pyramid. So let's add it in the x-axis. That means the center of the pyramid will be coming out in this direction. Let's first find the center of this face. If I imagine a line that goes from corner to corner, just imagine it, then that helps me to guess the center of the face. Now remember, we're drawing a line out in this direction. So from here, let's go out. It'll basically probably come pretty close to that corner. And then we'll go through. And if you want a short mouse, stop there. If you want a longer looking mouse, that's the axis of our pyramid. Now we need to join it to here, here, and here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's draw an eye around about this position. So let's carefully draw like an ellipse shape, and then inside there we draw a pupil. But before we darken in the pupil, let's draw anywhere you like a few circles. Then we darken in around the circles, and it looks like there's a reflection in the pupil. We're going to draw some wheels underneath here. Most of them will be hidden. It'll be basically two ellipses like that, but instead of drawing them on the outside, let's just draw a little bit underneath like that. Let's do like a mousy tail here. There we go. And just a few of those lines, good. And of course that could be an antenna that it communicates with the cloud. A very simple draw today. Mainly I wanted to show you how we're adding a pyramid on its side. Round the corners of this one off as I darken it in. So it's a little bit of a softer form. That's all today. See you next time. Hi everyone, welcome to the fabulous Fun Friday Challenge. I have a design challenge for you today. We'll be drawing bird boxes or nesting boxes, and then we'll be solving the problem of big birds getting their big beaks inside to try and get to the eggs. Let's have a quick look at yesterday's lesson, and that was to design a robot mouse. Before we start on today's challenge, we need to draw a birdhouse. So really quickly, draw up 3 bird houses for me. Great, you can see they don't need to be perfect drawings to show the ideas or concepts. Okay, in this face, we're going to need an opening. We'll make it an ellipse. Remember, the ellipse will lie on that angle. So let's draw an ellipse, not too big, just big enough for the small birds. And to make the opening look 3D, copy this part of the ellipse right there. So it'll be darker inside where it gets less light. Cool, so add an opening to all of your bird boxes. We'll need somewhere for the bird to land. First, let's draw a little cylinder. How do I know what direction to add the cylinder? Remember, the cylinder should be lying in the direction of your bird's foot angles or your isometric angles. Now the challenge is to prevent birds with the big beaks from getting inside to peck at the nest. So let's think of a concept or an idea. Well, the obvious one is if I can't make the hole any smaller, then let's make it a bit longer. So let's extend a tube out that way. And there is the first of my three concepts. Try to keep it simple if you can. Let's imagine next that we perhaps bring a little piece of timber, let's give it some thickness, out over. It's like a rain cover, but the other thing that it does is to stop the big birds from getting in there. And we're going to need somewhere for them to land. Let's try for this one. Let's add a piece of timber, like a little, literally a landing. That's my concept number 2. And now for my third concept. I'm going to attach a box to the front here, and I'm going to make it a little bit longer here. Now this box has an opening on this side, so you can just see the hole. So it means that the bird has to land here and then hop inside, making it harder for the big birds. Let's add another piece of timber underneath here for a landing. There, now I'll darken in my final concepts. Can you come up with some of your own ideas? Is there any other ideas? There's always more ideas. Have a talk about it with your friends and enjoy doing this challenge. You can see the drawings don't need to be really excellent to show the concepts, and that's what we're all about with design drawing. Thanks guys, have a fabulous week, and I will see you soon for some more drawing on 5 for Design. Find the link to this tutorial in the comments below. It's an excellent tutorial to show you how to explode pyramids in all the different directions. And head over to Splat3D to buy your class or single splats. I'm Glennie D. Bye for now.